Hello, welcome everybody. Good morning to all my listeners and my viewers and my students. In today's video, I would like to solve PGT level 3 exam, STAT exam, which was conducted by Board of School Education Haryana in the evening. I have C code in my hand. Before I start my video, I request all of you that every person must work hard. Okay, he should put all his effort to clear these type of STAT exam or other competitive exams. In these days a number of paper scam gangs are there. Okay, and students are spending a lot of money to clear these tests can be done very easily if you are wholeheartedly, if you are trying wholeheartedly, and you should try to expose them. Politicians are demanding money. Okay, you should not go at their doorstep. Okay, there should be neat and clean method of selection everywhere. Transparency should be there, honesty should be there. I am a very big sufferer in this matter. Okay, I want to tell you, I am Chandrapal, teaching in Government Girls Senior Secondary School, Nathusari Kala, Sirsa. I will help you a lot in coming days. A number of videos I have made to help my students who are there in class 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. From these classes onward, and those who are college going students, they must start their preparation while they are doing their graduations and post graduation, so that you can clear these tests by your own without spending money giving to these scam, the people who are involved in these paper leak scams or politicians. So without wasting time, let's start from question number 91. Which Indian author was a lawyer, an MP, and was also awarded Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan? Option first is Shashi Deshpande, second is Anita Desai, third is Mulk Raj Anand, and fourth is Khushwant Singh. So here fourth answer is correct answer. Khushwant Singh, was member of Rajya Sabha from 1980 to 1986. He was born in 1915 and he died in 2014. He lived for 9 years, and he is famous for his novel Train to Pakistan, which has a subtitle also, Money Mazra. Then 92 question. Robert Frost and Walt Whitman belong to which country? Okay, you have to tell their nationality. First is England, second is France, third is Germany, and fourth is United States of America. So I tell you, both these poets belong to United States of America. While teaching their poems, which are in class 9th and class 10, class plus 2, I tell their nationality. Both Robert Frost and Walt Whitman belong to United States of America. They are American poets. Robert Frost writes his poem about New England. Walt Whitman is famous for his free verse. These questions are also very important from examination point of view. Now coming to 93 question. Choose the correct form of tense for words given in brackets. This is I wonder if anything happened to Tom. I wait an hour now. He often keep me waiting, but he never be quite so late as this. So here option first is given, had happened, had awaited, keeps, was. Second is has happened, have waited, has kept, has been. Then third is will happen, will wait, will keep, and will. And fourth is could happen, could wait, can keep, and can be. So here first option is correct. I wondered if anything had happened to Tom. I had waited for an hour now. He often keeps me waiting, but he is never quite so late as this. So here first option is the correct answer. Then 94 question. Identify the correct phonetic transcription of the word attorney, which with the primary stress mass placed at the right place. So here attorney is given, transcription is also given, and stress is also given. Okay, here third is the right answer, attorney. Okay, attorney, this word is transcribed. Third option is the right transcription, other transcriptions are wrong. Then coming to question number 95, play and playwright W.B. Yeats was associated with which theatre? Okay, Globe Theatre. Globe Theatre belongs to Elizabethan age. The English Theatre, Runway, and Abbey Theatre. Okay, here fourth is the right answer. W.B. Yeats, who died in 1939. Okay, who died in 1939. He belongs to Abbey Theatre. Then 96th question, in the poem Felling the Banyan Tree, what contrast does the bring about at the end of the poem? So this poem is written by Dilip Chitre. Actually, question number 96 is from elective English syllabus, okay, of class 9 to plus 2. Okay, I am not sure about this thing. So those who are preparing for PGT English, they must also prepare syllabus of elective English, which is there in Haryana at some schools only. Some schools are there. Dilip Chitre is the poet of this poem. So first option is there are plenty of trees both in Bombay and in Brodra. Second is trees are everywhere. Third option is big cities have the most trees. Fourth is there are hardly any tree in Bombay, but Brodra had a lot of tree. So here at the end of the poem, it is given that the poet is moving from Brodra to Bombay, and in Bombay very few tree are there. So fourth answer is the right answer here. There are hardly any tree in Bombay, but Brodra had a lot of trees. Then 97, the two important writers of the Victorian age are, first option is Charles Dickens and John Donne. Second is Shakespeare and Donne. Third is Tennyson and Charles Dickens, and fourth is Bacon and Eliot. So I want to tell about all these poets. Charles Dickens is a Victorian poet, but John Donne is a metaphysical poet. He belongs to late Elizabethan age. So first answer is the wrong answer. Shakespeare belongs to Elizabethan age, and Donne is also late Elizabethan. Okay, they are not Victorian poets. So second answer is also wrong. Then fourth, Bacon is Elizabethan assist, but T.S. Eliot is a modern poet. Okay, he also won Nobel Prize for Literature. Here C, third option is the correct answer. Tennyson is often called representative poet of Victorian age, and Charles Dickens is famous for his novels like Charles Dickens is famous for his novels like Hard Times, Dombre and Son, Oliver Twist. You are familiar with these things. And then 98 question, what is Walt Whitman's famous collection of poems called? First is The Tower, second is The Ballads, third is Leaves of Grass, and fourth is The Lighthouse. Now Tower is a famous poem written by W.B. Yeats. And third option is the right answer here. Leaves of Grass is written by Walt Whitman, who is an American poet, and he is famous for introducing free verse. Then question number 99, what was the idea behind applying makeup in the story Poets and Pancakes? Okay, this is a chapter given in Flamingo book of class plus 2. So you should have to prepare syllabus of class 9th onward in detail. Okay, this chapter is written by Asoka Mitran. Okay, now first option is to cover each and every pore of the face, second is to have fun, third is to look different, and fourth is to feel happy. Here first option is the correct answer. All the actors coming in Gemini Studio used to do makeup okay, to cover each and every pore of their face. Then 100th question is, choose the participle form of following sentence. You have to tell participle. Okay, this question is based on non-finite verbs. The cracking door awakened the dog. Here first option is dog, second is awakened, third is door, and fourth is cracking. So here cracking is present participle, okay, and it is qualifying door. Door is adjective here, so it is present participle. Is it cracking is doing the function of an adjective here. Okay, there is difference between an there is a difference between gerund and a present participle. So fourth option is correct answer here. Then question number 101, answer by choosing the correct option. Where did the rag pickers live in the story Lost Spring? Okay, this chapter is also there in Flamingo book of class +2, and this chapter is written by Neez Zung. Okay, options are Bangladesh, West Bengal, Simapuri, and New Delhi. So here rag pickers used to live in Simapuri area. Okay, C is the right answer. Then question number 102, pick out the gerund from the following sentence. You have to tell gerund. Okay, gerund means, this question is based on non-finites. Okay, non-finites you know are of three types. Okay, infinitive, gerund, and present participle. Infinitive means to infinitive or only first form of verb. Then gerund means first form of verb and it is doing the function of a noun in a sentence. Here what gerund means, first form of verb and ing. Smoking, okay, painting, reading, writing, running. Okay, these words are noun. Okay, option one is what, second is most, third is detest, and fourth is smoking. So here fourth is the right answer, smoking. Then 103 question, in the poem Refuse Blues, the poet W.H. Auden talks about which refuses. Okay, in the poem Refuses Blues, the poet W.H. Auden talks about which refugees. Okay, W.H. Auden, you know, is famous as poet of 30s. Okay, he was a left-wing writer along with Stephen Spender and W.H. Davis. Poet of 30s. Okay, they are called. So here first option is German Jews, second is Syrians, third is Rohingyas, and fourth is lesbians. So here A is the right answer. Okay, this poem is about the plight of German Jews who were trying to escape from the Nazis. Okay, first option is the right answer here. Question number 104, replace the verb with a noun. Okay, choose the correct option. He has disgraced his family. Okay, first is we were disgraced his family, second is he was disgraced to his family, C is he is disgraced his family, and fourth is he is a disgrace to his family. So here fourth is the right answer, he is a disgrace to his family. Now question number 195, Malgudi, a fictional town in South India, was created by which author? Okay, you know, first option is Anita Desai, second is R.K. Narayan, third option is Raja Rao, and fourth option is Amita. So student, I want to tell you I have done my MPhil course on R.K. Narayan, and R.K. Narayan is the creator of Malgudi. Okay, I have made a special video for regional poets, okay, which is also available on my YouTube channel, Easy English NCERT Learning with Shindarpal. I have made many videos, okay, to help all of you, okay, so that you can prepare well for these type of competitive exams. If you are a new listener, if you are a new viewer, okay, then you can watch my channel continuously. You can subscribe it, share my channel to all of your friends. Here B is the right answer. Question number 106, What according to the peddler is a rat trap? Okay, this chapter is also there in syllabus of class +2. Rat trap. First option is cheese, second is devoured, third is riches, and fourth is none of the above. Here, second is the right answer. The author compare the whole world to a rat trap, and he says that all the good things of the world are like a rat trap for all of us. Then question number 107. The major theme of the play Broken Image is: first is sisterhood, second is marital relationship, third is sibling rivalry and intellectual inferiority, and fourth is the novelist. So this play is written by Grish Conrad. Okay, this play is also there in syllabus of elective English. Okay, elective English course. Here C is the right answer. The theme of the play is sibling rivalry and intellectual inferiority. Then question number 108. The two major characteristics of romantic periods were: first is spontaneity and love for nature, second is orthodox and worship of the ancient writers, C is to write in a very embellished style, and fourth is to compose only poems. So here first is the right answer. All of you are familiar with William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, P.B. Shelley, okay, Lord Byron, and John Keats. And William Wordsworth defined poetry even like this: it is spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions recollected in tranquility. And love for nature, William Wordsworth is a poet of nature. All of you are familiar with this thing. Question number so A is the right answer here. Question number 109. The plural form of the word focus is: first is foci, second is focus, third is foci, and fourth is fos. So here first answer is the right answer. It is foci. Plural of focus is foci, and plural of stimulus is stimuli. Then question number 110. Pick out the type of phrase, okay, underline from the following sentence. He is coming at this very moment. At this very moment is underlined. First option is adjective phrase, second is adverb phrase, third is prepositional phrase, and fourth is noun phrase. So here third is the right answer because here preposition is there, so it is prepositional phrase. Question number 111. A wedding in Brownville depict. Okay, this poem is written by Isaac Bashevis. Okay, Isaac Bashevis. First is the colorful wedding, second is the psyche of Jews after the Holocaust, third is the Nazis' life, and fourth is the role of church. So here second is the right answer. This poem is about the psyche of Jews after the Holocaust. Then question number 112. Pick out the correct option. To whom is the poem a lecture upon the shadow addressed to? This poem is written by John Donne. Okay, here actually this poem is a sonnet. First is the student, second is the day, third is his beloved, and fourth is his friend. So here's third is a right answer. I have made a video on beloveds of different poets, okay, who dedicated their sum of works to different their different beloveds. Okay, you can watch this video which is available on my YouTube channel. Okay, Easy English NCERT Learning with Chandrapal. Question number 113. The neoclassical age is also called the romantic age, second is the Augustan age, third is the age of reason, and fourth is both second and third. So Augustan age is also called the neoclassical age is also called the Augustan age, and the famous writers of this age were Samuel Johnson, okay, John Dryden, okay, Samuel Johnson and John Dryden. Then 114th question. Name the type of clause by picking the correct option. The house where the accident occurred is nearby. Here, first option is adverb clause, second is verb clause, third is noun clause, and fourth is adjective clause. So here, first option is the right answer. It is adverb clause. It is, it is adjective clause. Okay, it is adjective clause. Fourth option is the right answer here. Then question number 115th, in the poem Telephone Conversation, what did the speaker want from the lady? This poem is written by von Sovinka. Okay, this poem is written by von Sovinka. He is a Nigerian author and he is also a winner of Nobel Prize. He won Nobel Prize in 1986. First is telephonic conversation is about he wanted to buy a clinic. Second is a room for rent. Third is a Ravan and fourth is a receiver. Here B is the right answer. This poem is about a situation in his life. He wanted a room for rent. Then question number 116th, choose the correct phonetic transcription of the word given. Yacht. Okay, 4 options are given. Okay, here first is the right answer. Okay, you can tick first, yacht. Then question number 117, choose the appropriate preposition for the blanks. Dash accordance dash the wishes dash my people. The president said I am retiring public life. So options are given. 4 of, to, by. Second is at, from, of, until. Third is in, to, of, from. Fourth is this, to, from, and by. So here third is the right answer. In accordance to the wishes of my people, the president said I am retiring from public life. Third is the right answer. Question number 118th. According to the journey to the center of the earth, when did Gondwana land exist? First is 650 million years ago. Second is 560 million years ago. Third is 600 million years ago, and last option is 540 million years ago. Here first is the right answer. This is a beautiful chapter in class plus 2 Vista's book. Okay, journey to the end of the earth. First option is the right answer. Gondwana existed 650 million years ago. Then question number 119th, the sentence pattern of the sentence given below. Nothing will make him repent. First is noun phrase plus verb phrase, indirect object plus direct object. Second is noun phrase, attribute, verb and object. Then noun phrase, verb phrase, object and object complement. Then noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective plus object. So here fourth answer is the wrong answer. Okay, fourth cannot be the right answer. Okay, absolutely wrong. Okay, and I have a doubt in this question. Okay, but still I feel that first will be the right answer. Okay, but I am not sure. You can check by different check it from different source. Okay, according to me first will be the right answer, but I am not 100% sure. Sorry for that. Then question number 120th, choose the correct determiner. Okay, from the in the blank. Okay, determiner topic is there in class plus 1. Okay, I have already made a video, okay, which is available on my YouTube channel, Easy English NCERT Learning with Chandrapal. Okay, you can watch this video, complete topic determiner, on my YouTube channel. He has not read. Okay, he has not had dash difficulty, many, several, much, these. So here Third is the right answer. He has not had much difficulty. Okay. Other determiners will they had been fitted if difficulties, okay, plural form of difficulties had been there. Then a comprehension passage is there. Okay, I will not solve this comprehension passage because this video is going to be very long. I will take it in other video. I will make it I will make a video on comprehension passage also. I will tell all the answers in that video, but in this video I am not including this unseen passage because our video will be too long. It is very difficult to upload the video then coming to rest of the part of this paper. Question number 130th. Harish, okay, question is like this: change to active voice. Okay, choose the correct option. You have to change the passive voice into active voice. Harsh sentence were pronounced on the offenders. Okay, our sentence is like this: harsh sentence were pronounced on the offenders. Okay, I will tell you. Yes, first option is the judge were pronounced harsh sentence on the offender. Sentence here means punishment. Okay, harsh. Second is harsh sentences were pronounced by the judges. Third is the judge pronounced harsh sentences on the offender, and fourth is the offenders were pronounced harsh sentences. So here in the question, okay, in the question you have observed that verb pronounced is given. Verb pronounced is used when our sentence is of past indefinite tense, and in the third option past indefinite tense is used. Okay, so it is the right answer. The judge pronounced harsh sentences on the offender. Then next question, 131st. He will be greatly surprised if he is chosen. First option is he will be greatly surprised if we chose him. Second is it will surprise him if he is chosen. Third is it will greatly surprise him if we choose him. And fourth is he will surprise greatly if he is chose. Okay, chose word is not there in English, so fourth option is the wrong answer. And here our sentence is, in our sentence we in our sentence he is chosen is given. Okay, he is chosen will come when our sentence will be of present indefinite tense. Okay, so here second option is the right answer. It will surprise him if he is here. So here present indefinite is given in third sentence. We chose him. Okay, we chose him. So third is the right answer here. Then question number 132nd. He will ask. Okay, you have to change. Direction is given. Direct speech from the correct option. Okay, you have to change the indirect speech into direct speech. He asked his father when the next letter come. He asked his father when the next letter would come. First option is he asked his father. Inverted commas are given. When would the next letter go? Second, he told father when the next letter will came. Third is he inquired from his father when the next letter would come. And fourth option is he said, father, when will the next letter come? Okay, here fourth is the right answer. Okay, you should be aware of this thing that in the second sentence will came is given. Okay, after modal verb we always use bare infinitive, first form should come, so second cannot be the answer. Okay, you should keep these things in mind while you are answering these type of easy questions. Here fourth is the right answer. Then next question, 133rd. He exclaimed that he was a very stupid fellow. First option is he said, what a stupid fellow you are. Second is he told, you are a stupid fellow. Third is he told him, stupid fellow you are. And fourth is he said, how a stupid fellow you are. Here fourth is the right answer. He said, how a stupid fellow you are. Here first is the right answer in 133rd, not the fourth answer. He said, what a stupid fellow you are. It is the right answer. 134th. Change the simple to complex sentence. Select the correct option. The duration of my stay is doubtful. Okay, first option is how long shall I stay is doubtful. Second is it is doubtful about my stay. Third is if I am to stay long is not decided. And fourth is if I stay or not is doubtful. So here you have to change the simple sentence into complex sentence. So complex sentence always has a subordinate clause. Okay, it has a subordinate clause, and a subordinate clause begins with a conjunction. Okay, so here third is the right answer. I am to stay long is not decided. Okay, then question number 135th. Change from an affirmative sentence to a negative one. You have to change the sentence into a negative sentence. Old fools surpass all other fools in folly. Okay, first is old fools are not to be surpassed by other fools. Second is old fools does not surpass other fools in folly. Third is there is no fool like an old fool. And fourth is there is no folly without fools. So here second is the right answer, old fool. Okay, but here does not, will not come. Don't surpass other fools in folly. Okay, second is the right answer, but in place of does not, do not will come. Then question number 136th. Change from complex to compound sentence. Okay, you have to change the complex sentence into compound sentence. As soon as he got the telegram, he left in a taxi. First option is as he left in a taxi, he got a telegram. Second is he got the telegram and immediately left in a taxi. Third is he got the taxi and left in a taxi. And fourth is so he left in a taxi, he got a telegram. So here, you know, in compound sentence we always use conjunctions like and, but, okay, neither, nor, either, or. And I have made a very beautiful video on conjunction. You can watch it on my YouTube channel, Easy English NCERT Learning with Chinderpal. I have discussed all parts of speech. Okay, MCQs are also available here. Second is the right answer. Okay, he got the telegram and immediately left in a taxi. Then question number 137. To keep the wolf from door means, okay, this is an idiom. Okay, meaning of idioms are like this: to feel very happy. Second is to keep hunger and starvation away. Third is to be in a miserable condition. And fourth is to have a strong determination. Here, to keep hunger and starvation away. So this is an idiom. It is the right meaning of the idiom. Second is the right answer. But I want to tell you, I have not made any video on idioms. Whenever I will get the time, I will definitely make a video on idioms which are very, very common. This is a very common idiom and easy idiom. Then question number 138th. Choose the correct option to fill the blank. Reading travel account one's appetite for holiday. First is temper, second is wets, third is wets, and fourth is teases. So here third is the right answer. Okay, wets means sharpens. Reading travel account to one's account wets appetite for holiday. Then 139th, select the right option. A place where government records are kept is called museum, library, parliament, and archives. So here fourth is the right answer. Then question number 140th, select the correct meaning of the underlined word from the given option. An effeminate is generally not held in high esteem. This word is there, okay, in Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock, effeminates, hopes and bellies. Okay, so here first is female like, second is manly, third is weak, and fourth is eunuch. So here first is the right answer. Effeminate means female like. Then question number next 141st, pick out the odd one out. Okay, devour, George, gulp, and roar. Okay, roar. So in this question, devour means to eat quickly, gulp also means to swallow, roar means to cry, okay, and George means a valley. Okay, but you will not get the right answer like this by meanings. You have, this is actually a phonetic based question. Devour, George, roar, in all these words, okay, ra sound is silent. Okay, ra sound is silent. So 3 is the right answer. Gulp is the right answer here. Then question number 142nd, change from complex to simple sentence by selecting the correct option. That you are drunk aggravates your offense. Okay, you are familiar with this thing, that a simple sentence does not have a conjunction in it. So you should mark like this. The offense is aggravated, that you are drunk. Okay, here that is conjunction, so it cannot be the right answer. Your drunkenness aggravates your offense. Okay, second is the right answer here. You are drunk, so is conjunction, so it cannot be the answer. And in fourth, the offense is aggravated, if is also a conjunction, so it cannot be a simple sentence, it is a complex sentence. So second is the right answer. Then question number 143rd, the underlined phrasal verb means that building brings in is underlined rupee 800 a month. First demand, second yields, third is converts, and fourth is executes. So here second is the right answer. This building brings in means yields, okay, rupee 800 a month, per month. Then question number 144th, select the correct option. She was so happy, her smile was a mile wide, is an example of. This question is based on poetic devices, figures of speech. Okay, you know figures of speech, simile, metaphor, alliteration, personification, oxymoron, paradox, irony, okay, onomatopoeia. All these are figures of speech, and I am very surprised that only 1 or 2 questions are there based on figures of speech. More questions should be there on figures of speech. Okay, it is examiner's discretory power. First is oxymoron, second is personification, third is hyperbole, and fourth is paradox. So here third option is the right answer, hyperbole. Exaggeration is there. Okay, exaggeration and hyperbole are same thing. So third is the right answer. Question number 145th. Choose the correct option. People who are rough, not refined, awkward and ill-mannered are. People who are rough, not refined, awkward and ill-mannered are. First is uncanny, second is underdog, fourth is uncouth and fourth is unabated. So here third is the right answer, uncouth. Then question number 146th. Choose the correct option. A place where bees and their hives are kept is called apiary, aviculture, aviary and aviator. Here first option is the right answer, apiary. One word substitute question is there. Now last page 147th. The word that suggests that the literary device onomatopoeia is used in these lines are: small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping and little tongues chattering. First option is small feet, wooden shoes. Second is pattering and clattering. Third is clapping and chatting. Fourth is both second and third. So here fourth option is the right answer. Okay. Onomatopoeias are those words in which sound tells the meaning. So fourth is the right answer in 147th question. Coming to 148th. Choose the correct option. Change from positive to comparative sentence. Few historians write as interestingly as Joshi. First is no historian writes as interestingly as Joshi. Second is Joshi writes more interestingly than most historians. Third is Joshi is the most interesting historian. Okay, most interesting cannot be the right answer. Okay, because when we compare two things, we always use comparative. Okay, comparative form of adjective or adverb. Then fourth is more historian write as interesting as Joshi. Here in question number 148, second is the right answer. Joshi writes more interestingly than most historian. Then second last question 149. Choose from an assertive, change from an assertive to an interrogative sentence. You have to change it into interrogative sentence. One cannot gather grapes from thorns or fig from thistles. Can one gather grapes from thorns and fig from thistles? You cannot gather grapes from thorns or fig from thistles. No one can gather grapes or figs from thorns. And fourth is, could you gather grapes from thorns and thistles? Here first is the right answer. Can one gather grapes from thorns and fig from thistles? Then last question. Select the correct option. Oh, the bells, bells, bells. What a tale their terror tells of despair. First option is onomatopoeia, second is alliteration, third is simile and fourth is oxymoron. So here second is the right answer. It is use of alliteration, repetition of ba sound and ta sound in a number of times. These sounds are repeated, so alliteration is the right answer. So student, this is your English part of PGT English exam, STAT exam. Okay, I wish you all the best for your result. Okay, today is TGT English exam also. As soon as at the end of the paper I will get this exam, I will try to solve it for you, and definitely I am trying my best to help all of my students who are there reading in class 9, 10th, 11th and 12th. Some of my students are reading in colleges. Okay, some of them are doing their post graduation also. I want to help them. Okay, I advise them that they must believe in their hard work. Okay, they must not go after these paper scams. Okay, they must prepare thoroughly. Okay, they must prepare thoroughly. Okay, they must not bow. So thank you so much. I have solved this paper. I feel that most of the answers are right. Okay, but officially I think Board of School Education Haryana has not has not given its official answer key. Okay, as soon as you get this answer key, you match this answer key. I say all of you all the best for your result. Okay, and I have helped you a lot. I deserve a like, and if my video is liked by you, share it with your friends. Thank you so much. Okay, till we meet next in my next video. Thank you so much and have a nice day.